So we're on sheet 15, which is the flanged 90-degree elbow, and it's got a hint at the top which says create one half and then mirror it. And I wasn't planning to do that, so originally I was planning on just drawing the flange here and the flange there inside the dimensions that it gives us, and then basically just running a sweep from one to the other. And you could do it that way. I don't really have a problem with that. The other thing is that it gives these radiuses here, which are obviously tangent into some straight pieces on either end. So by doing this sketch, it was able to give me the length of that line, so to speak, there. So I sort of gave up on that, and then I went to into that because I really wanted to try and do the mirror part of this with you guys, so you could actually work through this process. And so what I'm going to do is I think I've worked out how to do the mirror around this, so I'm going to show you how I have got to this point. So let's start. New design, and I'm going to create a sketch, and I'm going to create a sketch on this plane here. Now the size of one of those end flanges has a maximum height of 95 by 50. So I'm going to get my center point rectangle, and we're going to go 50 millimeters there, tab by 95, and press enter. Now essentially we've got 3 circles there and 4 straight lines that make up that sort of shape. So what I'm going to do is basically draw all my circles in there, and then trim away what I don't need. So at each end we've got 25mm circles, and so I'm just going to quickly do that. Don't forget I'm using the letter C on the keyboard to get my circle tool. So that's how it sort of seems to be quite quick, I guess, is that you get to use the shortcuts. And then 50mm for this one here. Okay, so now we want to have all these things constrained a little bit, so we are going to coincident these 2 circles against the end line. We should be able to do this, maybe, maybe not. There we go, I think we got it. Or maybe we didn't. Okay, let's try tangent then that. We'll tangent that to that. That's better. Tangent that to that. Okay, that's tied there. Tangent that to that, and probably come up with that we already got that, so we may not need it. There we go. So it comes up with an error message there. So just ignore that. Okay, let's draw some straight lines in there. So we're going from there to there, from there to there, there to there, there to there. Now the reason why I've done them a little bit shorter is because I want to make sure that they tangent properly. So we're going to go tangent from that to that, tangent from that to that, 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 and that to that. Okay, so you can see how that shape's starting to come together. Let's go trim out what we don't need. So we don't need that, we don't need that, that, or that, or that, or that, or that, or that, that. Okay, so there's our outline shape. That line there is just the dimension line, so you don't have to worry about those. Excellent. Okay, so essentially that's our base shape. So let's go finish sketch. Now, tricky part here is we want to extrude this shape here, but we don't want to go in, so we want to go do a -8 because it's 8mm thick, I think it is. Let me just check that. Yep, 8mm thick. Now we want to come away from this surface plane, and the reason being that we are going to define a sketch that's going to take that center point to make our elbow. So we want to have this on the other side of that plane. So important that we do that. Okay, so let's finish off this plane now. Go OK. So there's our finished sort of shape. Right, we need to put some holes in this. Get the hole tool, select the front face, and we're just going to make these a little bit smaller for the time being. So we need, these are counter sink holes. They are 20 millimeters on this one here, and they are on the diameter on the other one is 11. Degree and the angle doesn't matter. Now, at the moment I haven't referenced that to everything, so they go reference and select the shape there, and that'll make it a concentric shape. So grab that, do that. Distance is all. Go OK. So there's one. It probably keeps the same numbers in there, so it's just as easy to do that as it would be to go through and mirror everything. So let's just do it that way. There's two, and third hole going in the middle here. Now that one there is this outer hole is 40. So that's that one, and this hole down here is 35. And again, it's at 90, and distance is all, and reference this around that one there. And you can probably put a second reference in there, but I don't think it's going to make any difference. There we go. Go OK, and we've got our 3 holes done. Alright, beautiful. Flat on the inside. That side there is where we want this. So that's what we're wanting to do. Okay, so now we're going to do a bit of line work to go around and just draw our sketches of where we want them. So let's go to create a new sketch now. If we spin this around a little bit, you can see that that's sitting flush on that edge, which is really good. And we want to choose that plane there. Okay, so from this point, what I'm going to do is we're going to draw some lines that are just coming up from that position. As long as they're going vertically straight up, that's good. And we want those at 32, and that's, I know they're 32 because that's what I worked out before, but you might have to take my word for it, or you could work it out yourself. So there's our lines there. We could use those as guide rails. We could also use those, I mean, you could almost do that for the middle one if we want, so we'll try that. So let's coincident that to that. Come on, there we go. Okay. Now, from that point there, we need to know that we're going to dimension this line from the middle line, which is half of the diameter of the pipe. Diameter of the pipe is 43, which makes it 21.5. Yep. 21.5 away. So we're going to essentially make this one here our guiding line, and this one here off here. So, create arc. This time we're going to do a tangent arc. So what that does is when I click on this, it creates a tangent line there, and then the radius is at the bottom here. Now if we look at that, the bigger one of these arcs is 86.5. So over on the right is where, like this line here is where that is, so that's sort of going to finish roughly about there. So we're just going to do it to that. And that arc there is at should be have a 86.5 diameter. We could do the same for the next one. I don't know what the diameter of that is, but let's just see whether we can 3-point arc, tangent arc, go from this, and if we line that up to the same, like, back point of that first arc, we should be able to sort of get where we want to go. We can also, should be able to make these two lines, let's see if this works, parallel. No, we can't do that. Let's undo that. They would be concentric because they should have the same center point. There we go, that's better. Okay, so they're going to be like our center line and our guide rails. From that we're going to draw out this circle. Hopefully we can mirror this, so let's go finish sketch. Now when you do a sweep, it's really important that your point is perpendicular, meaning right angles to the pattern that you're going to do. Okay, so we know that the outer edge of this circle needs to be 43, so we're going to do a quick sketch on this face here. Bring in your circle command, grab that, type in 43, press enter and go finish sketch. So essentially it's given us two lines there. I'm going to make the assumption that this is our inner boundary, although I can't really find the measurement for it, but we're going with that. By the dashed lines on the image would say that it would be that as well. Okay, now we're going to go to not revolve, we're going to go to sweep. Path and guide rail is what we're going to do. Profile is this here, the path becomes this one here, guide rail can be this one here, and we're going to go perpendicular to the path, I think, which means it's at right angles to the path. Okay, now here's where I've had a little bit of fun. So what we need to do is sort of find the midpoint of this to mirror it around. If I mirror it at the moment, it doesn't quite work. So we're going to slide this back, and you can see just above where I'm going there's a white dot there. That represents, well, I'm assuming it represents the midpoint, and that's what I want to sort of get to. You can see it goes black there. I'll highlight that in the video, but we want to get to that point there. So that's like 45 degrees to there, and we should be able to do join, go OK. Now hopefully this all works. We go to create, mirror, bodies, we select all that body, the mirror plane becomes this face here, and we go OK, and there is our shape. The last thing that they have done is we've got a radius 4mm fillet around there and there, 4mm, and go OK, and we are done. So that's it. I'll highlight that little spot on the video hopefully, but there is our 90-degree elbow with a mirror in it, as per all of our instructions. Now, quite possibly I've actually done these screw holes on the wrong side. They actually might be the other way around, which they are if we look at the bottom diagram. So easy enough to fix up. All we're going to do is grab that and go edit feature and click on the where it's got face, take that off and select the outer face, and then just re-reference that to the edge, go OK. Now if I mirrored these two holes, the other one would have self-corrected itself, but it has done that on the other one there, so you can see where it's mirrored that way, it's corrected that way. And let's just fix up this second one here. So change the face to the back face, change that reference to the back reference, go OK, and you can see it's adjusted on that one there as well. So beautiful, now we have finished. So there you've got that. Don't forget to save that as flanged 90 elbow into your task, and that is done.